Once every 4 years, those who are 18 years or older put in their ballots and consequently their opinion on who would be best and who will represent America as our president. This is how we've always run America since the founding fathers made the decision. We cast our votes with the belief that who we choose is of sound mind and has the ability to make change that we require. But with the passing years, I have noticed a pattern in both the government and our president, one evident to anyone who has lived in America in the past 4 years, a pattern that has spurred on change that surprised even the civilians of America. As detailed by the graphs in Kazi Blanza's and Drew DeSilver's piece on the House and Senate ages, most of our lawmakers are 50 or older. Specifically today, we will be focusing on those who are 60 or older. The reason I will specifically be focusing on those older than 70 is due to the fact that they are unable to connect, learn, or consider the effects of their decisions on the younger demographics' current and future life. This inability to consider the effects their decisions have on younger generations and important decisions that affect the entirety of the United States has led me and hopefully will lead you to believe that having an age cap in positions of parliament is a must in the United States. There are 3 main reasons I believe it is necessary for us to have an age cap for those that are 60 or older. These are the 3 reasons. 1. Their inability to connect and learn with the younger generations to create out-of-the-box thinking to critical current problems. 2. Their lack and inability to change. And 3, their highly likelihood of them having decreased mental capacity due to aging. Now you may be asking why I've highlighted that those 60 or older have trouble with out-of-the-box thinking that is required for critical and current problems both young and older generations are facing. The main reason I highlight that is due to actions like the overturning of Roe v. Wade that was enacted this year. The decision was made by the Supreme Court, whose youngest is age 52 and oldest is age 67, and was a decision made primarily due to the overall frowned-upon belief that abortion is murder and not a medical procedure that can save lives. This act of overturning Roe v. Wade caught billions of American citizens off guard. I highlight this as a younger generation with the belief that while abortion should not be a relied upon operation in everyday situations, it is still necessary for women to have the choice and the ability to have this operation that has saved thousands of lives. As a woman, I have dedicated many hours of research onto why a woman would turn to abortion. Some cases indicate that a woman would choose to abort due to not having the funds to support a child, while others detail that they do not have the desire to have a child ever, or do not desire to have a child made by negative experience. These are the 2 mainly discussed topics when one speaks about abortion and the reasons as to why a woman would have such an operation. But through previous research, I have come to find that some women are forced to abort due to a late miscarriage or due to pregnancy or birth that would result to harm to the mother or death due to previous conditions, like diabetes or heart condition. These reasonings as to why a woman would abort were not considered in the debate for abortions, as many only speak about the apparent life and the consequent murder they believe it happens when one aborts a baby, not of the mothers who are forced to choose their own lives despite the desire to have a baby of their own. These situations were not considered in the overturning of Roe v. Wade. This act made it impossible for women to get life-saving procedures done in certain states, resulting in several documented deaths. This is not the only example of linear thinking when it comes to matters that affect the medical care of many civilians in America, but one that sparked an outrage and continues to do so the longer this overturning lasts, especially when younger generations have considered other options that are better than making it impossible for women to get such a procedure. One example of an out-of-the-box solution is providing women with care similar to other countries, where the government sends a care box filled with certain necessities that a mother and baby would need after the birth, and the ability to bond with baby for longer than 4 weeks. By providing such care, it is likely that many women who choose to abort due to their financial situation and the inability to be there for their baby would decrease, while still ensuring that women who need the operation can receive it without trouble. I also believe that to hold a position in the government, you need to be flexible, mindful, and willing to learn. This is something that I have noticed that certain members of the government, specifically within the 50 to 80 age range, struggle to do. I often notice that they are highly likely to trap themselves in an echo chamber, unwilling to hear any belief or opinion that is unlike their own. While I and Jeanette Lardy believe it is entirely possible for older generations to have the capacity to change if they desire to change, while looking at the current older government officials and the actions they have enacted, I do not see the desire to make positive changes with the younger generations in mind. This could be seen by the overturning of Roe v. Wade and the lack of movement made by government in response to the sudden high velocity of school shooting. While I and billions understand the hesitance to make a move against our Second Amendment and the negatives that could come in light of the changes to our Second Amendment, the lack of trying to solve what is currently killing our younger generation before they have fully aged, while actively making moves to prevent deaths of babies speaks volumes to me and many civilians in the United States. Not only do I believe that the government officials 60 years or older have the inability to have out-of-the-box thinking, change, or connect with younger generations, but I also believe that with age, there's also the threat of decreased mental capacity caused by old age or diseases like dementia. As detailed in Brain's Health Piece, with old age, one could be slower to find words or recall events, have problems with multitasking, or experience a mild decrease in the ability to pay attention. This was detailed to be a natural circumstance caused by aging in which certain parts of the brain shrink, including those important to learning and other complex activities. With this, I want to specifically investigate some of the actions of the 46th president completed in his term that would be unfit for a president but understandable for someone that is 82 years old. Such actions like forgetting what he is talking about as he's talking about it, getting easily distracted by outside forces such as a train or the ice cream truck, or completing actions considering weird for a president to complete, like whispering a part of his speech. These are all actions that would be acceptable for someone in the age of 82. Such behaviors are not ones that the President of the United States should enact, as he or she is supposed to represent the United States on every front while being of sound mind. The inability to connect, the lack of desire to change, and the likelihood of old age leading to decreased mental capacity are not the only reasons I believe that there should be an age cap on those who represent the United States as a government official. But they are the main three reasons I believe we need it, as it is expected that those who are going to represent us and change the laws and lives of billions should have a sound mind and have the ability to learn from and connect with the younger generations and their struggles before passing or overturning laws that will affect the masses. An age cap will not only allow room for newer minds and solutions, but will also ensure that all that are seated in positions of power in the government are those that we are proud to have representing our country as a whole.